Hey Wade family, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well today. We sure do miss you. And even though we can't be with you physically, we're so thankful that we can be with you digitally. And each week through the daily devotions and on Sunday when we live stream our services. And you know what's been really encouraging to me and my family is to see you guys interact and engage with Pastor Brandon and Pastor Phil as they lead us in worship, and also with the Bridge to see you guys engage with Pastor Boo and Pastor Josh as they also lead us in worship. It's been amazing to see you engage and comment and give the thumbs up. That's been really encouraging to me. It's kind of like we're still together, and so we've really enjoyed that. But today I want to continue with our daily devotion, and I look forward to each Monday being able to sow into your life, give you some encouragement, and just to share with you what God is showing me. And I believe God is showing us a lot. I believe God is showing you something, and He's definitely been showing me something. And you know, one of the phrases that I catch myself saying, and I've even heard it said before, is that I can't wait for things to get back to normal, right? We've all said it, especially in the last month or so. We said, I can't wait for things to get back to normal. But what if God is using this time to change our idea of what normalcy really is? I mean, think about it. When we look at our life before this, and now we're being forced to slow down and we're forced to think about our life before this, were we really in line with God? Did our priorities show that Jesus was supreme in our life? And you know, as I looked at my life, there were some areas to where I knew that I had to realign and get back on focus and get back on track with God, to where my priorities would reveal that Jesus is first in my life. And so what if God is trying to challenge our idea of what normalcy really is, right? And I pray that you would use this time to look at your life and look at your priorities and say, is what is happening right now in my life, do my priorities say that Jesus is first? But I also want to give you some encouragement with what's happening in your life right now. You know, when things happen in our life, we approach it two different ways, right? One, we embrace it, or two, we get frustrated and we ask questions why this is happening. You know, Paul would say in Romans 8:28, he says, and we know that all things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. You know, this is a familiar passage for us, and it's a great passage, especially for what's going on. And the whole chapter of Romans 8 is really good. And some scholars would say that it's the greatest chapter in the Bible. And I believe we can grab a lot of encouragement from Paul's writing in Romans chapter 8. But you know, here specifically, Paul says a few things that I think can give us some encouragement and give us a sense of what's going on around us. Paul says, and we know that all things work together for the good who love God and are called according to His purpose. And you know, that good that I think Paul is talking about is that anything that happens to me, the good that can come out of that is on the other end, I become more like His Son, Jesus. You know, that's God's goal for you, is that you would become more like the image that He created us to be, right? That we would bear the image of Him. And John Newton would say this, that anything or all shall work together for good. He said, all shall work together for good. Everything is needful that He sends. Nothing can be needful that He withholds. So in other words, anything in your life that is happening right now is needful to make you into the person that God wants you to be. And it's also true that anything that is happening in your life isn't needed. And you know, one of the things that we can approach this is we can say, okay, God, what is happening in my life is needful, right now is needful to make me more into your Son, Jesus. Or we can get frustrated with what we think He's withholding. Why can't we just go back to normalcy? Why can't we just, be back together again? Well, what if God is saying, you need this right now? Because Paul would say that all things work together for the good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose. And John Newton would remind us that anything that is happening in your life right now, it's needed. And so what if we embraced what is happening right now and say, okay, God, what are you trying to teach me? How are you trying to realign my life back to your original purposes for me? And so, church, I hope this is encouraging to you. We love you so much. We're praying for you, and we can't wait to see you soon.